Hello, welcome back to Creators Dementia. I am your fabulous host, and I do believe we are on episode 7. I haven't made a video in a while. Work has been nuts. I've been trying to get a schedule proper schedule. Yeah, it just does not seem to work out. So I guess we'll play it by ear. How y'all doing? I am recording this on Saturday. It will be up on Sunday. I felt the need to actually make a video since it ain't been done in a while, so here I am back again with episode 7 of Creators Dementia. Now, before we start, I do want to say, look at this awesome mug. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Some good coffee. Yes, coffee is the elixir of authors. That and Monster Energy drinks. And no sleep. Gotta love it. And a full-time worker, part-time author. We really need this coffee. Alright, so hello. I think on the last episode I was talking about how I was going to go on vacation and everything, and we did. We did go on vacation. We went to Virginia. It was an amazing time. The kids loved it. Went to the beach. Saw my wife's family. We went to a water park. I mean, we did a bunch of things, and the vacation was well needed. And of course, as soon as I come back, it was full force, double shifts. Yeah, I guess it was a bad idea for me to leave, because when I got back, it was, hey, time to work. It's like, well, I took a vacation so I wouldn't have to. And I thought when I come back, I'd be more rejuvenated, refreshed, ready to go. Oh, that was a fun week after vacation. And what I had planned on doing was making a video to have it scheduled to actually upload that Sunday we were gone, but I ran out of time prepping for everything. And when, like I said, after we got back from vacation, I ran out of time again, and it's just been a full-blown ride. Oh, but I am back, and I am ready to do this again. We are on episode 7. I think that's the third time I've said it, so haha. And there are just 3 different things I want to talk about today. And the first thing is the things that I do not like about writing. Way to get into this, I do believe. It is, we all have things that we're passionate about, and there's certain things within that passion that we just do not like. So I'm here to talk about that right now. A couple things I do not like. I would have to say, of course, almost every writer, unless they are professional, with this, I don't like editing. I hate editing. And it's the simple fact that every mistake that I find, I feel like crap because I let that mistake slip through, and I don't want to do that, but it happens. I mean, that's just like a mediocre dislike of the whole writing game. And Ollie, if you come up here, I'm going to throw you. Don't even. Yeah. We have a new family member. Don't do it. I've done told you multiple times to stay off this desk. He's here. Get down. Don't you, Oliver. Get down. Get down. Okay, he's on the couch. Sorry. Anyways, another thing I don't like about writing is the pressure that I put on myself to get stuff done. Like, I will say, okay, this week I'm going to hit my microphone. I am going to write so many words. I'm going to get so many chapters done. I'm going to finish this book by the end of the year. No. No. And you have to make a schedule to stay on point. But it seems like every time I make a schedule, the schedule does not work. I mean, with this podcast thing, I tried to, make a schedule to have it where I upload every other Sunday. And that has not worked. I did good there for a little while. But all the crap just came piling through. And it was one of them, okay, not going to get to it. Sucks. I'll eventually get back to it. And I hate being like that. I hate that. When I want something done, I want to do it. If I have a goal set, I want to get to that goal, but sometimes I just cannot get there. And it sucks. And it's disappointing. But at least I always come back. I do not give up anymore, I should say, because I did give up on this for the longest time, but I want to keep doing this. This is something that I love doing. I love talking to the people that actually want to listen to this. It may be very small numbers, but those small numbers listen, so I'm okay with that. The scheduling aspect of trying to write books or write poems or create things, it is just it's disappointing when you just don't get to where you want to be, and it's disappointing that you don't do the things you set yourself to do. I cannot seem to grasp the right branch to keep my schedule afloat, and it's my own fault. For the most part. I mean, I do get them phone calls that's like, hey, need you to come to work because this person called out, or this person's sick and they called out, or this person just did not show up for work at all. Things like that I cannot control. But when I am sitting on the couch after a day's work, if I get off at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I could easily just go sit at my computer over there and start writing, but I do not. I literally... Like yesterday, I worked 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. I got out of there about 1:15. I came home, said hello to my wife, and I sat on the couch and watched freaking videos on Facebook. But they were inspiring videos. It was like people saving animals, or the hero dads where they save their kids from a quick peril, and also animal fails, because sometimes you just need a good laugh. But that was my choice to sit on my big butt on that couch and not actually write anything. I had ideas in my head, just did not get up and go and take this chair and move it 5 feet in that direction to sit at my computer and just start writing. That is my own fault. So no one to blame on that one but me. And if I would literally stick to my schedule and discipline myself into actually doing what I'm supposed to, maybe I'd have more books out. But that's just not the case. I get very disappointed in myself when it comes to everything that I want to do and I don't do. And like I said, the only person to blame is myself. So one of the things I don't like about the whole writing thing is prepping a schedule and I don't stick to it. I'm a procrastinator. My own fault. Another thing I do not like about writing or creating, and most people might say prep time. I don't mind prep time, because the more prep time I put into it, the better odds I'll have of making something actually decent. And now I was just talking about how I do not stick to my goals, and of course, scheduling is prepping. And like I said, I don't mind the scheduling part. I just hate the fact that I don't follow my schedule. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a hypocrisy when it comes to scheduling. But okay, But another thing I do not like about writing is the method I have set myself up for. It's weird. Like most, I'm moving my hand so much. I like to use notebooks. I love the feel of a brand new notebook. I love the smell of a brand new notebook. Kind of like the smell of a great book, a new book. Thing is, I will write some stuff in a notebook and then I'll lose that notebook. That's only happened twice. I need to literally, and another thing is I'll take my laptop. It's an old laptop, but it's still kicking it. I'll write little things in my laptop and I won't put it with the actual story until later, but I'll lose my spot if I go sit down. There goes my notebook. I'll go sit down and I'll try to begin writing where I left off on that computer, and then it'll dawn on me as like, oh wait, I just wrote that on my laptop not a month ago. I need to actually bring it over, and then I'm just like, well, that's just too much work. I think I'm just going to wait, and I'll just go to a different chapter. It is hot in here. Oh, I got the fan off so that way the microphone don't pick it up. But I will put it on my laptop, and then I'll become lazy and not transfer it over, and then I'll put something in the story on my desktop that completely contradicts what I have on my laptop, and then I have to recreate and rewrite. I'm trying to get my posture better. So I've been like this, slumped over, and I'm trying to fix myself. Ugh. And I'm wearing this cool shirt. It's long sleeve, and it is hot, but I thought it would look pretty cool on camera. It's a cyberpunk shirt. It's even got I wore this when the mask mandate was going on. I don't recommend wearing a shirt like this during the mask mandate because it does get really hot, but it has a mask attached to it. I don't recommend wearing these to work. And so one more thing I don't like about writing, and then I'll move on. I would honestly have to say the expectations and realizations. I expected so much more with my books that I've got out there. I expected, this is going to sound bad, more fandom. I mean, it's understandable to expect people to, like your stuff, but I expected a bigger audience with my books. And of course, those expectations gets met with a realization of the fact that not many people care. I mean, the ones that, don't get me wrong, the ones that do is amazing. It's great. Don't you do it, Ollie. Yeah, back up. But the thing is, and I hope, some people that listen to this will learn that an expectation is very different than a realization, unless you are just lucky. I know people, if y'all heard that was my chair, that was not actually me. Now it won't do it, so I seem like a liar. I know some people, that's, has caught a break with the writing. Like I know this, I was in this one group for a long time. I did not like the group because it was contradicting and hypocritical. But because it was like, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask the group. And I'd ask the group to be like, refer to page blah, blah, blah in the rules and notes and sections of the Facebook page. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really help. But this one guy, he made literally $300,000 on book sales because of his ads. he had the money to spend for ads. He had the resources to create ads. And if you can't do that, it is very hard to reach a broader audience than the ones that you have on free social media. So keep that in mind if you try to start a career in writing and get your first book out there. Advertisement and marketing is a key thing to do when you're trying to get some exposure for your writing or filmmaking, anything creative. Without advertising and marketing, it's not going to be a great ride to the top. It's going to be a very bumpy and sketchy stroll, a slow walk until you can finally get to the point that you really want to go. I may never get there. I'm okay, but at least I can say I tried. And I will keep saying that no matter what. I tried. I'm still trying. So just remember that expectations and realizations is like a freaking snowball. If you expect too much, that snowball is going to get bigger and bigger. The snowball effect is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's going to hit you and it'll give you a realization like, ah, crap, I was completely wrong with that. So, I wish I could have had more people. I mean, I didn't know a lot of writers when I first started. So I just wish I had more people to tell me to don't have unrealistic expectations when it comes to trying to sell novels and things like that, because it's a lot like photography. So many people do it, not a lot get realized or noticed. So keep your expectations realistic, even though it's fun to imagine. It's fun to imagine hitting that #1 bestsellers list. It is. And I know somebody that has done it. And I know some people that's got top 10 books. That's awesome. I love it. I'm so happy for them. And I will never envy them, and I will never be ill-willed towards them, because I am proud of them. I'm glad they made it. And they worked hard to do it, though. They did. I'm pretty sure they did not expect to do it within a week or a year or 2 years. I mean, it's taken some of them a couple years to get there. So I just hope that they had that realization before they had that high expectation. That's what I'm getting at there. All right. So those were some of the things I do not like about writing. If you have any questions, please ask, and I will tell you other things I don't like about writing if you would like to know. That is completely up to y'all. But I'm going to move on to something else. And it's just going to be just a little piece of information, but my favorite genres. So I do write zombie apocalypse. I've got 2, but I'm also branching out into, a little bit more. But I would have to say my favorite genre is paranormal. Now, and I'm not talking about investigative, realistic, discovery type crap. I'm talking about anything dealing with supernatural creatures. It could be angels, demons, devils, goblins. It could be a mixture of D&D. Oh, well, I'll tell you in a minute. Sorry. It could be a mixture of D&D, real world, anything supernatural, spirits, all that. That's my most favorite genre. And I would have to say second favorite would probably have to be horror. Just because, well, okay, it would mostly be a tie between horror and world ending. So apocalyptic. And, that's all, like Hunger Games, and, Divergent's not that bad. I started reading a book called Age of Blood, and it gripped me from the beginning, but I haven't picked it up in a while. Freaking busy. But of course, Stephen King's The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I love that freaking book. That's in the horror section. But I have a whole bunch of books over there in that bookcase. But yeah, those are my most favorite genres. You know, it would be apocalyptic, supernatural, horror. Those are the kind of things that I love to read. Fantasy is up there. I'd have to say it'd be number 3. And I love fantasy. Do not get me wrong. Everything about fantasy is great. Even wrote a little bit of fantasy in the short story that's coming into a book at some point this year. There's not been a release date, so I am actually in another book. It's just not fully me. I just have a story in it. So I can honestly say I did get a published work this year, and I had a published work last year. So technically I am getting better, because there was a big time gap between book 1 and book 2 of the Zed's trilogy that is still ongoing. So, boom. But I do love fantasy. And this, where I paused myself earlier, this is what I was about to say. I started playing D&D. Now, I've always loved the concept of D&D. I even tried to make my own little campaign concerning zombie apocalypse meets tabletop type deal. And me and 3 other people played. I don't think they kinda enjoyed it, because they really didn't share the enthusiasm I have for tabletop games. But it was still fun, because it was fun. And the only bad part was I keep moving my hand. Keep it down. Yeah. Bad part was how D&D sets up their stats is pretty cool. I could not grip that concept until recently, because I started playing D&D. I have 3 characters created. I have a half-elf cleric. I have a variant rogue sorcerer. Is that right? Variant human rogue. What am I saying? A variant human rogue. And I have this weird character. I just started punching random things just to see what would generate. And I know he is a sorcerer, but he's also like a celestial. And he's like from the underworld type deal. But yes, I did start playing D&D, and I love it. A friend of mine I graduated with is a dungeon master, and why are you looking at me like that, creeper? He created a campaign of D&D with a mixture of the show Supernatural. And in this campaign, I used my variant rogue human, variant human rogue. If you play D&D, you know what I'm talking about. But it's fun. Got to I was trying to base my character off of Dean Winchester to have that, go forth and lead type, very suave, deceitful type demeanor when you need to be. So yes, if you ever play D&D, D&D is amazing. I recommend, not sponsored, I recommend if it's your first time going, or you could even be a veteran with D&D, but if you're going to create characters, if you do not have the full handbook literally in print, because I have it on my phone in PDF file and it is rough trying to find everything, I recommend D&D Beyond. That's how I create my characters, and it is fantastic. Once again, not sponsored, but yes, that's the program I recommend if you are going to get into D&D and create characters. It is literally a step-by-step way to do it. Anyways, so yes, I like fantasy, I like horror, I like apocalyptic, and I like supernatural. Those are my go-to things. So, passing favorite genres, I'm going to just talk a little bit more, and this is true to the core, what I'm about to say. If you are an author, you know this. Writers are freaking crazy. We truly are. Writers, cosplayers, almost all creators are freaking nuts. And here's why. And I'm not, I don't mean like, I mean, it can be like mentally, like a mental asylum institute type crazy, but writers are crazy because if a doctor or anybody could literally hear our thoughts in our heads, they would probably diagnose us as schizophrenic with all the voices. Because we pair voices and, you know, tone with our characters, and when we're writing, we're doing constant conversations in our heads with imaginary people. So you cannot tell me that writers are not a tad bit crazy and probably a little bit schizophrenic, because we hear the voices, we create the voices, we let our voices have conversations, arguments, and like, writers are crazy. Writers are freaking nuts. And I mean every writer. We imagine scenarios where people get killed. We imagine scenarios where the world just dies. We come up with concepts that are out of this world just to prove a point about why so-and-so should die, or why so-and-so should live, or why they can do the things that they do. A lot of people cannot fathom that process of what we do in order to come up with stories. So it is literally all up in our heads, and you know, we create things out of nowhere. Oh, so I'm trying to get my posture. So, I mean, you can ask anybody. Writers are freaking nuts. We are all crazy. Most of us are procrastinators. And, yeah. I just have to say, if you are friends with a writer, an author, a creator, you know, you understand. They can go on mentioning things forever that make no sense to you, but makes perfect sense to them. We're nuts. That's all I gotta say. We're nuts. All right. So, I do believe I'm going to end it here. It's hot. I gotta get that fan going. I want to enjoy this coffee, and I'm highly thinking about dressing up in my elf cosplay, and maybe doing some photography, some cosplay pictures, because I haven't done any in a while. I did get a Batman suit. And, it's Batfleck. I got a Batfleck suit from Pro Cosplay, not sponsored. Let me see if I can show real quick. It's actually pretty cool. Let me move it over here. There we go. Yeah. I look like a badass. But yeah. So, quick update in my world. I'm still working. Still trying to write. Nothing new. My girls are coming over a lot more, so that's awesome. And that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, is spending the day with them. So that's why I wanted to record today, and then just have it scheduled to upload tomorrow, which will be Sunday. Watched an awesome movie called Greenland. It's got Gerard Butler in it, and if you haven't seen that movie, you totally should. It's apocalyptic, so of course I enjoyed it. And I think that is probably it. That might... Oh, okay, so collection there. I finally got Creed from The Office, and I got Phyllis Vance from The Office. I've almost got every character. I don't think they make Gabe or Joe or Robert or Aaron. So I think the two that I can get that I still need is Ryan Howard and Oscar Martinez. Those are the two that are remaining out there that I need to get. But after that, the collection of each character will be complete. Boom. Cannot go wrong with Funko Office Pops. Office Funko Pops. And that's why I have this mug. It's a bit of an obsession. So, anyways, thank you guys for listening. I hope you watched it through the whole video. I hope it was actually at least a little entertaining. I try to put a little more pep in my voice, so that way I'm just not talking like this the entire time and you get bored. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully, I'll get a schedule going and it'll be a routine and we can literally launch this mess off, because I would like to work for myself one day and actually be able to follow a schedule that I set myself, because that is something I don't like about writing, but yet I do anyways. And I want to give a big shout out to Dylan Moore for creating my new intro. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of this video. I should have said, how'd you like my new intro? But I didn't. So I'm going to say it now. How'd you like my new intro? Dylan Moore made it for me. He's a good friend of mine. So, yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope your lives are great. God bless you. I hope you achieve everything you are striving for in your life. And there is two things I would like to say before I go. One, I am working on a way to do interviews with the podcast. I even got me an extra microphone for this. Just got to figure that crap out. And I don't know how I would set the other person. Maybe I have to move the camera like up on the wall. It can get us both from the side. I don't know. And also, I would like to start doing book reviews again. I've been itching to come on here and review Lori Wetzel's book Unclaimed, because I love it. She is a great friend, a great author, and that book is just amazing. I've got Ignited and Revealed over there as well, which is part of the series. Still got to read them, but Unclaimed is amazing. It is on Amazon. If you don't have it, you need to get it. It is a supernatural paranormal book. You will not regret it. Love you guys. God bless. Have a great day. I'm going to go turn my fan on. Peace. Look, I'm a zombie.